insanely solid, dude. Grabbing this game after you pay the bills. Oh, it's worth it. If you like this type of thing, it's very specific. This game is very specific to like the type of audience it's catering to. But if it looks up your alley, it is. I guess that's how I would describe it. If it looks like you'd enjoy it, you probably don't even need to think about it. It's also getting really good reviews. It's overwhelmingly positive on Steam. And honestly, this might sound weird, but this is how I'd put it. I don't think this type of game really even is for me. I don't think this kind of style of game is really even like my exact interest. I think I like things that are a little bit more action-based and less text-heavy. You know, heavier on the gameplay and less on the lore and the speaking. But even I enjoy this game. Like, I want to continue playing this. I want to see where the story goes. I want to, you know, get a little deeper into it. Like, I want to finish up the playthrough. So I think that lends even, in my opinion, I think that lends even more credit to it. That it's very solid and that, you know, being out of the norm for me is still really enjoying it, so. Oh yeah, I agree. A definitive edition with additional voice acting would be great. Because I don't mind reading, especially if I'm on stream, you know, I'll do it. But it's easier and it's nice to just kick back and listen when you do have voice actors. You're buying a computer? Nice. Well, good luck. They're so expensive right now. Parts are like crazy expensive. But yeah, once you get set up with your PC, it becomes so smooth. As soon as, like, when I really locked in on PC gaming, I couldn't go back to console. There's obvious advantages to console. I know Solarius, for one, likes console a lot because there's no, like, game management. You kind of just install the game and it's ready to go. But for me, I could never go back. I love PC gaming. I love my mouse and keyboard. I like setting up games when I get into them and fine-tuning them to exactly how I want them to be. Yeah, I'm stoked on PC gaming. I'm getting 64 gigs of RAM. Heck yeah. The market's expensive though. It sucks. I wouldn't tell y'all to not get your upgrades, but like the market kind of stinks right now. You'd love disco. I think I would, but I'd have to put a big gap in between playing this and playing that because the only time I play games is when I stream them. That's just a thing that I've committed to, and I have no reason to not continue committing to that because, like, I don't, you know, it's fun anyways. Just adds like a little layer of sugar on top of the video game cake. Or frosting, it's probably the better way to say it. But having said that, games like this, where I'm just constantly reading and yapping, it takes a lot more. It's a lot more than just sitting back and enjoying it. So I think if I did play through Disco, it would be pretty far off. Like, I definitely wouldn't want to go back to back from this to that. Like, that, it's just... Even this, when I boot it up, I'm like, ah. Like, last time when I was booting it up, I'm like, do I really feel like yapping this hard right now? But then I got into it, and I'm like, ah, I just want to keep going, you know? Oh, Disco actually has voice acting. Okay, that hits different. If I don't have to read every single line, that's completely different. Because this one is, I'm trying to do it in smaller chunks so that I don't, like, wear myself out. But the game's cool. But that is one thing that I've heard from folks talking about this game, is that they would like to see actual voice acting in it. I think if you get a really good cast of voice acting, it kicks this thing up even like an additional point, you know? It's already a very solid game. It's not like essential to the game in my opinion, but it definitely wouldn't hurt. What's up, PMP? What's up, Z7? Nah, no DBD tonight. I'll be playing DBD again on Friday. Friday, I'm gonna start. I'll start by like 6 p.m. EST, probably at the latest. Do DBD, and then we'll do some more co-op stuff. I don't think I can heal myself anymore. So the last time we were in here, I kind of forget what we were doing. We went down in that dungeon down there, and we were kind of searching for a guy who may have been linked to the explosion in the tea shop. And then we got a cloak. Well, we got a mimic who's our cloak, and he helps us detect traps. Also, if we find a bunch more rats, we can turn it into the crocodile or alligator down in the dungeon. And that completes a quest. You need the narrator from the phone flip game. Which game is that? But yeah, I'll be back. Anybody who's just looking for DBD, I'll be back on DBD on Friday. But I only put DBD stuff on Twitch and on the separate DBD YouTube channel. So if you are on the main YouTube channel right now and you want DVD stuff, you can look in the description of the video and find the link to the DVD YouTube and all that stuff's over there. Yeah, PMP, this game's called Esoteric Ebb. It's a disco-like, disco Elysium-like, but it's in a fantasy world inspired by D&D and stuff like that. It's very cool. I think this guy had some stuff to yap about. What can you tell me about this guy? Oh, I forgot everybody's voices. I forgot I gave everybody voices, but like I can't even really remember what people's... See, this is the problem when I'm the voice actor for everybody. I gotta remember what people's voices are. They're gonna start off normal. I think the cleric is relatively normal. It's just my voice. Turn around and whisper to Snell. What can you tell me about this guy? The goblin sneakily leans in and whispers back. You want to run down right in front of him? I don't think he can hear us. That's not the point, cleric. Call out Viskin. Hey, can you hear us? No, cleric, nor am I listening. Go ahead. See? The goblin sighs. Give me the rundown. Viskin is a local mortician, unaffiliated, works on contracts with the city. The HWBT has a deal with him, partly because he's a neighbor, and partly because he's not you know, he's not the type you want to make enemies with. But hey, he seems to like you, so good job on that. But my suggestion, keep your distance, just to be safe. Let's show him the mimic. A mimic? Oh! The creature peeks out of its folds. Scary thing. Master beware around this one. How very, very quaint. You pick up familiars at an alarming rate, cleric. I'm certain you will handle that monstrosity well. Yeah, I hope you're not implying I'm also a familiar just because I'm small? The pale man does not respond to the goblin's comment. What? Welcome to the D&D Dungeon Master, where you go, what voice was I using? I can't even do that voice anymore. It's like you gotta record yourself and then play it back just so that you can remember. Do you guys ever record your D&D sessions, or is that weird? I think I've said this before, but I feel like some groups of friends are probably so entertaining with how they put their campaigns together that it would be worth it if everybody wasn't bashful to just record it and then put it up somewhere so other people could see it.
So you could see all the silly voices.
We have AI summarize each session. Hey, what's up, penis? I mean, Mike OTR. Wait, so what's the phone flip game? I'm curious now. You've piqued my curiosity. I think we've already asked him about the tea shop, but let's see what he has to say. How much does your average Norvikian know? Very little, I'm afraid. He's looking at you, waiting for another question, despite you obviously wanting more information. Make him speak. And now you can tell me what you know about it. Of course. I heard the explosion. I went out to investigate, only to find the tea shop caught in a raging inferno. The Tolstad militia were already heading into action, so I went back inside as to not be in the way. And that is that. What were you doing? Working. He motions toward the stack of papers. The explosion occurred at noon, but the day it happened was an official city holiday. Why would he be working on Toll's leaving? What sort of work were you doing? If you must know, it was an end-of-life report on a sailor. Tragic. How did he die? Drowning. But I prefer not to speak too much on the subject. Did you hear anything? A loud bang and some shouting. What kind of shouting? From the militia, they were rushing to the scene. The fire prevention declaration has truly done wonders for the city. And nothing else? As the entire district almost turned into an inferno, yes, there was quite a lot of commotion. Nothing that stands out, however. How loud was it? It shook the Lich House, and mind you, this is not some ordinary basement. This is a remnant tower going hundreds of feet deep into the earth. I'd be surprised if anyone on Tolstad missed it. Do you have any other details? Not that I recall. Are you sure? The pale man stares at you for a while. Pretty sure. That's not enough. Tell me more, please. Not much to say about it, I'm afraid. Fine, dude. Whatever, man. I don't think I want to learn about this guy, but let me see what the questions are. Let's just ask him a bunch of random questions and see what he says. Are you evil? A smile appears on his face. That is for the gods to decide. It's pretty creepy. Yeah, he's evil. He's just joking. What are you voting for? Interesting question, a bit invasive, but I'll oblige. I'll be voting for the party of Norvik. Numanism, while crude and outdated in certain respects, has proven both its stability and economic assurance for business owners such as myself. They have my vote. The goblin scoffs. A vote is a cast of self-interest. It takes a special man to vote for any other reason. Hey, what's up, lying figure? Depends on the group. I'm way too lazy to do that. I feel that. I feel that. Earth spirit will live on through his people. I'm no Earth folk myself, but I have the utmost respect for your traditions. You're an immigrant? You could call me that, from Reeds. So you're not voting Free Strider? There's a reason I left. I like immigrants. I hate immigrants. I don't think about immigrants. I like immigrants. Some people do. What kind of immigrants suit your taste? Sexy Latinas? Oh, sorry, what were we talking about? Goblins are pretty cool. Interesting! We've been here longer than you. That's what I like, you're consistent. Oh, gods. Tell me more about this place. This is my establishment. We handle dead bodies for the city these days. Not terribly lucrative, but it's good work. How's business? Slow, which suits me just fine. Not a lot of death. During the curse crisis a few years back, this place was stuffed to the brim with dead folk. I like it more when it's relatively empty, like today. Do you store bodies down here? I do. The ancient ventilation system keeps this particular area cooled to an unnatural degree, even during intense summer months. The city has been a very grateful patron over the years. Was this always a morgue-related business? Actually, no. I used to dabble in dentistry and surgery a while back. I scaled down that production to focus on my private life more. I'm not going to ask you about your private life. I'm going to ask you about your private life. The pale man smiles as you prepare for another set of prying questions. No wife or kids? The gods have not shown me that path. Me neither, brother. Going for a fist bump. Keeping his smile, the pale man politely bumps your fist. Brother, let's go, dude. Hell yeah, dude. No kids. You don't have to do that. I know. You got any hobbies? I like taking long walks, and I enjoy theater. But I mostly focus on running this lich house. And the rest of the time? Light reading, perhaps? I should try getting more hobbies, honestly. Thank you for reminding me, cleric. What's your surname? None, I'm afraid. No hereditary connections here. The heck? You have no last name? I'm a self-made man. So you have no family at all. None, I'm afraid. I'm a war orphan. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No need. I'm not. We make the best of what we got. Where do you sleep? I'm sorry. Where do you sleep at night, you freak? I have a cozy apartment in the Holes. It's a short commute. Got it. Just wondering. Alright, I've bugged this guy enough. Thank you. I wanted to know more about your life. I'm gonna sleep on the ground in here, I think. To get rid of more of my exhaustion. Restore a spell slot, get rid of some exhaustion. Hey Kyo, how's it going? Nice. Okay, one less point of exhaustion. We got another spell slot. We freaked this guy out because we just slept on his floor and we didn't even ask him, so all good stuff. What's this title? Yeah, it's literally what's happening right now. It's the most accurate representation of exactly what's happening. Well, last time we were here, you guys told me not to rat out the dwarves and to try to find a different solution to that quest. But I don't heckin' know how to do that. I forget where... Which quest is this? Where the heck is this, dude? I gotta go down the water lane. I don't know. I don't see where the quest is. Even the music's good, dude. The music's good, the art's good, the writing good. What's not to like? My companion made fun of me for eating out of the trash. That pissed me off. Saying you wouldn't do it? Right, Teashop. So what's the plan, cleric? I could just, honestly, just break it down. I think I want to go to Waterlane, though, because there's supposed to be stuff happening tonight, and I don't want to, like, frick around too much. Looking out over the ledge toward the roller mill's blades, you see them spinning, per usual, except one of them, there's something stuck. You see a rod. An esoteric event? Hey, what are you looking at, boss? What the hell is that? Some type of magic item? Some kid threw it into the roller mill blade. Wouldn't it be dangerous to try to grab it? You could die, yeah. But it might be worth it. Maybe? There's no way we get this roll. Let's try it, though. Oh! You reach out, leaning as far as you can. Oh, for God's sake. The goblin grabs onto your skirt. Uniform! He grabs onto your uniform. A manly uniform. You get it! You gained movable rod. It's a hard wooden frame with a fancy iron set pieces on the end. Along the handle is a button, however, it appears permanently pressed down on. Oh, it's an immovable rod. I've seen one of those before. I don't think it's supposed to move though, right? Let's investigate. Quick swipe of your hand reveals its magical nature. The tingle! However, this item is clearly broken. But how? Try giving it to the goblin. Hmm? The goblin grabs your rod. Hold on, relax. Let go. As you do, the goblin holds it alone. Yeah? It's really light. It's, esoteric. Try tossing it in the air. Okay. He tosses his hand up and the rod does not leave his palm. What? He mutters and tries to let go of the magic item. I can't. It's like I'm glued to it. What the hell? Here. You take it back. The goblin hands it over to you without a problem. He looks perplexed. Try touching it against the ground. As you do, it gets stuck to the ground. Somehow. It's a broken immovable rod. It's a movable rod? Yeah, great name, dude. Huh. Whatever object it touches last, the rod will be esoterically locked and aligned with. It cannot be moved once it touches the object until it comes in contact with the second object. What constitutes an object? That would be an esoteric designation. Usually determined by belief or common esoteric forces, or set in specific rules by Joel. In this case, it seems to indicate a dynamic object connected via mass. Were you to cut off your arm, that arm would be a new object. Were you to place that arm on the ground, it is not a new object. But were you to, for example, staple the arm to the ground via pitons, then it could potentially constitute as part of the ground, depending on how harsh the defining forces are in this particular case. Either way, there's no real use in defining those rules right now, but it would be interesting for further study at a later date. Gods, the blue one talks a lot. It's just a magical stick, dude. Simpleton. So, what could we use this for? Use? Oh, nothing. It's just a stick. Seriously? Well, if used very carefully, it could be a bookend. But you know how it works? It's stuck to one thing, and when it touches a new thing, it's stuck to that instead. You got it. You're so smart. Frick off! Look, it's clearly useless, but now you know. I don't know if that was worth it, but we did it. I mean, it's a cool stick. It is a very, very interesting stick. Those can never be bad. Cool. Sticks are cool. Dude, when you're a kid, finding a stick is like when you find a really good stick, it's like, what? What? It's like, what? How'd you get that stick, dude? Sticks are cool. You know what I'm talking about. Who knows what I'm talking about? I was Darth Stick with a big one. You're saying you have a big stick? Or you played Darth Vader in your make-em-ups as a kid? Active machinery inside. I don't think we... I think we really need to go down to Water Lane. Because that's what the quest says. Corner of Norvik still standing in the gate era. What does the sign say? Wooden boards, faintly glowing lettering on them, floating just an inch off the surface. The names of several locations are spelled out. A common type of magical ink creates permanent messages on any surface until dispelled. This appears to be the more advanced kind with a magic mouth-like ability. It can react to your commands and reshape temporarily. The sixth message, however, is only painted onto the plank. We want to find where Water Lane views. Down the temple steps, across the circle square, through the garden tunnel, over the pillar crossing. Okay. Good sign, thank you. Sign. Like, I want to talk to this person, but, like, I feel like there's stuff we gotta do down in Water Lane. We must get down to Water Lane. Dude, having a good stick in a battle with a friend as a kid is like the ultimate. Seems like a fun little game. How far along are we? I want to say I'm about... You know what? I can do a quick check for you. I'm 10 hours in, with some of that sitting on the menu before loading up. But yeah, it's a cool game. It's intact, an endlessly rising pillar, a centerpiece of Norvik. I want to investigate some of this stuff, but I also feel like we need to go down to Water Lane. Look at that. But I also don't know how to get down to Water Lane. The sign said, past the circle square, down to the thing, to the thing, to the thing, to the thing. But this is Goblin Town. Ah, freak. You know what helps is when you read stuff, you pay attention to what it said. So that you can know what you're doing next. I think Pillar Crossing's where I'm supposed to go. Let's look at the tree. Look at the branches of the bracken tree. It stands tall in the garden. It is majestic. Let's touch it. We like touching stuff. Your hand lands firmly on the bark. Good tree. I don't see the purpose to this. Look up at the branches. Wind causes the leaves to dance. Wait, between the branches high above. Oh! Is that a hole in the bark? Hollow, just wide enough for you to stick your hand inside. There's something up there, something shiny, a nest. Oh, we gotta stick our hand up there! It could cause great physical harm if you fell from that height, and heights are scary. The branches shudder in a sudden gust. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I suggest not doing that. I'm going up! Cowardly goblin. You grab onto the trunk. Pressing your entire body against the rough bark, you slowly make your way upwards. Go, go, go! Just a bit more! Please get down from there, cleric. I can make it to the top. Yes! Okay, we're wasting big rolls on stupid stuff. Wrapping your body around the trunk, you lift yourself up. The bark is rough enough for you to get a pretty firm grip despite the vertical nature of this feat you're attempting. One foot and hand movement after another, each holding on for dear life. You take a deep breath and reach up, finally getting a hold of one of the upper branches. You've done it! Heaving yourself the last way to get a view you did not expect. A bird's nest, unguarded, full of shiny trinkets. Jackpot! Guess we're stealing. Ring, coins, or polished stone. Polished stone. The bleach, white, and polished rock doesn't look too valuable, but it's in your palm. You feel the tingle. Try the ring. Ring of protection, that could be good. Grab some coins. Good stuff. Alright, that's all we need. We're back on ground. Well done. You lived. I'm surprised. Now can we go? What is this? What kind of tree is this? Don't put the leaves in a salad. That would be unwise. The bracken tree originates from the Elysium forest and is today a major export resource in Ascani. It is quick to grow and flexible in usage. Elysium forest, the great woodland covering most of the border between Ascan and Reeds, is the domain of the Elysium elves. Cool. You thought the fire goblin was part of the game? See that? That's good. I usually bust him out when he looks like he fits the vibe or the art style of a game, and I think he fits pretty well here. So, continue your quest. I find paying attention to be crude and offensive. Hey, pay attention to these, you little bit. All right, let's level up. I think I'm strength maxing, to be honest. TBH-nist. I think I'm just gonna keep pushing strength for now. We also got bonus hit points, extra spell slots, additional ability score. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Strength rolls we're going to absolutely demolish. Do you guys want to do predictions on some of these rolls? Or are you just chilling? You guys like predictions? Drunk Sphinx. I want to say Water Lane is down here. Goblin Garden. This is just a pillar. It whispers to you. Touch it! Place your hand on the smooth surface. The whisper gets louder. It says something to you. Something weird. Conversation? Guess you can try to join in. Yap, 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 yap. Oof. Closing your eyes, you begin to focus. Your mind plays squarely on esoteric forces. Your mind forms into an arrow and you fire it forward, but it is propelled. Opening your eyes, your hand is no longer pressed against the cold surface of the pillar. You're instead holding it against your heart, shaking. This is wrong. Try again later. I will. Watch the final boss be a charisma check. Then I take my L. If you guys do want to start doing predictions, just let me know. Oh, baby. Hello? Huh? The goblin perks up. Ah, not me. Sorry. The pillar vibrates. Hello. The whisper lies inside you, or something. It says, he is here. Who is here? It says, divinity. It says, death. It says, necrocrat. Huh? The voice ends. Your hand is repelled from the surface. Weird. You understand plainly there is more to this pillar that you need to investigate. In time, and further below. Okay. I did kind of look into it earlier. Dormitory out of commission. See me, son of Strokeback. Is this Water Lane? Tunnel to Water Lane View. That's where I need to be, allegedly. I'm gonna go here first before interacting with stuff. Democratic propaganda. Yellen and Sons. What was my... I think if it's highlighted in... If it looks like it's highlighted in white, then it's completed. I tried looking into Viskin, I didn't really learn that much. I don't have Revivify for the Goblin. Fisherman. You hear there's trouble down on Water Lane this evening on your first day of Tolstad. You should check it out. That's the quest I was looking for. I never solved that. Okay, so there's just something going on in Water Lane. And I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is. But there's something cooking down here. Hey, what's up, man? Rollo Malik. The next generation, a late-stage teenager representing all young men among the Earth folk. Statistically, it could be worrying. If all young men today feel as lost and unemployed as this one, then everything must be going to shit. At least he's politically active. Okay. A tense scene. Oh, a cleric! Just in time. 4 young guys hanging around looking normal. Except the angry-looking blonde kid. We've confiscated the illegal goods. He bows his head. For the city! He turns his head toward one of the kids behind him. How's it going, Earth niece? I'm trying. Hold on. Are you guys militia? The blonde kid shakes his head. I'm Rollo, blonde kid says and takes a bow. Rollo Malik, at your service. Behind me are Earth niece, Sten Buskin, and Tali. We're members of the Norvikian Resistance, a movement to... You're thieves! And ignorant book burners! The girl adjusts her spectacles and straightens her back. With all due respect, Mr. Cleric, she says, don't believe a word from these thugs. You notice the 2 other girls behind her, a halfling and a dwarf, both look at each other. Assholes! Careful, it's an actual cleric. Thugs? Come on, Modissa, really? Like, the A aren't just a bunch of ruffians? I've seen enough, the goblin whispers to you and sighs. It's just activists clashing. What is the A? Asgalith use. See your green armband? Hello everybody, I'm the cleric. They've stolen, she hisses. then turns Rolo to bark out, "You stole our entire water lane delivery!" Yeah, sure. Of an illegal newspaper. Lord Cleric, I assure you, we're doing the city a favor here. I take that back. It's just a bunch of LARPers. I see, it's a lover's quarrel. So why don't you just kiss? What? No! The girl gives you an incredulous frown. That's not, cleric focus. I like the title you gave me. Oh, sure. Hey, wait a second. I am a cleric. And I'm sensing a conflict. Your commitment to cleric-ish behavior runs deep. Big XP for committing to being a cleric. Let's go. Arrest these assholes! Now! The dwarf grabs her hand and holds her back. Odessa, calm down, please. Okay, Asgal girl. Explain your side. She scoffs. Okay, fine. Her dwarven friend mutters, Odessa. We deliver papers for the Asgalan chant. Maybe you've heard of it. It's a pretty big deal. She draws a sharp breath. We have a busy schedule, and right as we started delivering the papers in Waterlane, these pieces of shit started following us. Taking papers we've just delivered right out of people's mailboxes. That's illegal, right? Highly illegal. Of course it's illegal. Your opinion does not even register. She does not even hear it. Insolent behavior. She does not care for your opinion on the legality of mail theft. How rude. And then they grab one of our paper stacks from Zerba, like straight up assault and theft and... Odessa. They can't get away with this! Okay, nationalist guy, what's your deal? First of all, thank you for listening to reason. I know we look like some dumb kids, but we're not. Something about his expression makes you think the exact opposite. He gestures toward you and then to himself. We're on the same team here. I don't look dumb. Stop stalling. Tell me what you're doing. Give him a hug. I like that because there's no reason to do it. I'm going to give him a hug. The boy physically clenches his entire posture up into a defensive wall as you move forward to embrace him and a manly hug. Huh? We're in this together, brother. Okay. The blonde kid backs away from you with a bewildered look on his face. The lack of proper father figure will leave these young boys unable to appreciate a manly hug. Oh boy, they're going at it. The halfling yet lets out a cheer. Yay! Kiss! Kiss! Odessa scoffs. Right out of the skyline, boys. Blech. Somehow their comments taint his manly display of love. So... we heard about the Asgal chant being delivered to Tolstad. Or I did, at the guild. I work at the fishery, and I see every day how Earthfolk get radicalized by dwarven nonsense. So I figured I'd get the boys with me and we'd, you know, put a stop to it. You want to stop the production of the paper? We, couldn't figure out where the thing was printed or anything. A lot of copper press zines don't really have official companies behind them. Especially trash like the chant. You hear coming from the kid in the back. Go fuck yourself, Tali. Hey, relax. I'm telling our story here to the good Lord Cleric. Turns back to you and coughs once. Of course, it's illegal to distribute unlicensed papers in every official district, so I ask around. Apparently someone saw these girls at university going around and delivering it. It wasn't that difficult to figure out. It was Modissa doing the deliveries. Fucking Dissa. She's not allowed to do that, a large kid in the back says with a nod. Wait, so you guys know each other? Yeah. Back in school, everybody knew who Modissa was. The Asgalist Annoyance, the blonde kid says with a grin. Such a terrible nickname, unimaginative and boring. And also, fuck you. Anyway, that's how we got here. They're delivering an illegal magazine and we've put a stop to it. He grins wide and proud. What does the law say about this? The Asgal Chant, or whatever silly name its anonymous publisher gave it, is not licensed for distribution in Tolstad. The city knows that terrible papers should not be given out. At the same time, it is also illegal to steal delivered newspapers from mailboxes, even if those papers are delivered illegally. It's a lot of illegality, so both sides are wrong is what I'm hearing. Yeah. Your sense of justice says only one thing. Newspapers are filled with ill-making propaganda. Let it burn. What are you guys voting for? This is not the time. The Workers' Party? Duh. Same for me. The dwarf raises her hand. Yeah. And these stupid boys are obviously voting for the Party of Norvik. No, we're not. None of us are. Yeah, fuck that. What? Yeah, no. The silent kid in the back raises his fist into the air. Fuck the establishment! Rollo nods to the cleric. There are deeper forces at work here. Divine forces. Oh, okay. So you're not voting for anything? Indeed! We're not voting at all. He looks insanely proud about that. You're apolitical? Me too! I don't engage with politics, cause frick politics. Apolitical? That's not a thing. It's a thing. What, really? My aunt's apolitical. She says it's too much to think about with democracy. She'd like to win Earth ruled. My dad says the same, but he'll be voting for the nationalists. Oh, that's what my aunt does too. Maybe she's not apolitical. Guys, focus. We, the blonde kid says, gesturing to his three friends, we are fighting evil, ready to establish a true resistance to anti-human sentiments. For Earth! The girl with creased brow sighs loudly. Interesting sentiment. Yeah. I could just charm one of them, right? That would be a solution. Tell them you've made up your mind and then cast it on one of them. Okay, I've come to a conclusion. Good, she says and nods. Great, good. He's outwardly very nervous. Let's see if we can find a compromise. Why not? Probably not. Maybe. Find a middle ground solution. Let's see what happens. Let's go. It is time for a compromise. Both of you, listen up. Your calm and determined voice rings out across the street. Tell the girls you can't deliver your paper, then tell the boys and you can't steal it. But you can't deliver it. It's not legal. That's what I've been saying, and you can't take it. Just listen to him. Come on. The blonde kid grits his teeth. Then he grabs a stack of papers and tosses it across. Oof! Odessa grunts as she catches it. Then she immediately turns to you. What do you mean? We have every right to... No delivering without a license. Just get your license. Fine. The boys quickly disperse, muttering among themselves. Don't, the dwarf girl tells Modissa, strolls up to you. Hey, Mr. Cleric, you know we're just gonna deliver these anyways. I'm counting on it to give her a thumbs up. I don't care, just stop causing trouble. As you answer, she turns and walks away. Well, you sure made the problem go away. Somewhat. Now let's get out of here. Torna, the first of the river guilds. Stares down to the bustling docks. See from the trash, as I tend to do. Oh, it's making a sound. Let's take a peek. Rye Ferris Weef, Metal Dig Weef. Trash inside this bin speaks to you. Goblin? It's Waterlane. There's always something going on down here. Alright, let's open this bad boy up. As you lift it aside, you immediately see something moving in the pile of shredded documents and old scraps of food. A pair of legs. Cymorth? Suddenly jumping out of the pile with a poof of moldy dust, it's a pine cone. A pine cone with limbs. Armoon Hearn! It hands you some leaves while doing a strange, seemingly improvisational dance upon the trash. Wait, are you one of those... Before you're able to do anything about it, the little creature poofs away. Disgusting little creature. As it fades, you see only trash. I've seen enough of those things. I've heard about those things, never seen them though. What do you know about them? Is it a trash gnome? Just what I read about in the paper, and what Nessan goes on about. They're called Vitar or something. The Lamplighters Guild had a public spat with them a couple months back. Points to the lamps behind you. Apparently, they mess with the everlasting lights. Pfft, not so everlasting then, huh? Yeah, guess it's a PR name. I get why they were mad, but I think they solved everything once the PCG got involved. And, they're supposed to be all over the garden, too. Not that I've ever seen them. Anyhow, they clearly seem to like you. Let's keep it that way. Alright. That's always positive. Ascani reads Trading Company. So, is the quest that I did the thing about the thing? With the thing in the... Whoa! I didn't realize we actually had a map of the city. It's pretty huge, dude. It's pretty huge. That's a 6 style. Yeah, the art style is really cool. If that's what you mean. And if it's not what you mean, then I'm just waffling on about a bunch of nothing then, aren't I? Typical. Hey, what's up, man? Deep groaning, the bell of Waterlane. Cleric, sorry, I'm busy. Wonder what he's thinking about. Hey man, what are you thinking about? Wonder what he's thinking about. I don't know how much of this I should be getting into. Late at night. Feels a little weird. Take root. Huh? What does that mean? You managed to resolve the conflict between the young Asgals and Norvikian. I think this is what I was supposed to do. Trouble brewing. Young women running around the streets slinging Asgalist propaganda to unsuspecting citizens. Boys causing chaos in the name of hapless, magazine-inspired rebellion. This cannot be tolerated. Oh, the map is really cool. Yeah, it is. I mean, I feel like it can be tolerated. It's fine. What? It can be tolerated. It's literally just some kids. This kind of looseness will bring order to its knees. It's all... Asgal use did nothing to warrant such pushback. This era is one of communication, ideas interchanged freely between a populace of free-minded thinkers, folk dreaming of an egalitarian potential. However, the problem lies with unfortunates who break and sear Folkarian thought with reckless unkindness. You must pray for them, beg of them. Please.
Please stop being so mean.
Do you really think that would work? Begging people to be mean? One can wish. Those boys might be unkempt and rough, but they are proud citizens of a great city. They are performing service, albeit a crude one beyond the realm of law. But the young Asgals, they are even more unlawful to a much steeper degree. It's so interesting that like everybody is like battling for a different type of sphere of influence, I guess you could put it, or a different way of thinking. What do you mean by steeper? Steeper. How do you calculate the degree of unlawfulness? Entirely through the morality of their behavior, which means feelings. Okay. You are feeling like the boys are in the right. What has happened here is a complication upon society, a representation of the wider culture. Young men are drawn toward the rough, downtrodden world of the dreamers, the hope of national unity through Earthian story, one of leadership and honor. But without that guiding star, there is no such singularity, no control, no wise king to bend the knee to. Instead, those boys are simply expressing pain through violence, enacted onto those who are attempting to craft a more caring future. That is, young women. They, as opposed to young men, are drawn toward a more social type of unity, with welfare and Asgalian flattened hierarchical structures. Beyond Asgal himself, who is, by his function, also a male figure, it is to womanly people you shall look toward. Lady Fair is one. The halfling god? Yes, Lady Fair and those not. The walking god who gave everything to save her people. The walking god, the term used to describe the divine avatars who rose and fell around the divine era. Most major religions on the coast today are built around these figures, and their influence can be felt everywhere. Earth was the last known walking god when he faded 27 years ago. Her words are few, but spread across the coast. Her church is quite active among Norvikian society as an organization of charity, one open to all folk no matter their origin. An egalitarian dream. This is why women, as harsh as it is to say, are simply more suited for Norvikian leadership. Lady Fair makes it clear. A house held by a woman stands any season. I don't want to lead the future, so number 2 is not right. I agree, women clearly build a more thoughtful and caring world for us all. Feel like a good man for thinking such egalitarian things. Good. I have no interest in the future and or any type of leadership. I want to stay in the darkness and wither away. Well, there's no need for that. You can surely be in a healthy position in the coming flat society. There's something so powerful about dreams, ideas spreading from man to woman, woman to man. But the Asgalian dream is not a blessing. It is a smile wrought in pain, a vision of 1,000 layers of intersected nets and labels, tangling every person and snaring them into oppressor or oppressed. There is oppression. There are unfair hierarchies. The world is corrupt, but not fundamentally. If these boys are pushing back against Asgalism, that is only natural. It is an ideology which pushes a foundational belief that they are naturally oppressively superior. If a young man grows up in squalor, finding zero advantages from him being a man among patriarchs, nor any power from being a human, especially if he grows up within non-human clusters, something that many of the poorest humans do, when he is unable to find a job at age 19 and has almost no political, societal, or economic power in his life, which dream do you think he would believe in? The one calling him to fight to reclaim what is his right, a good life as a future patriarch? Or the one calling him an oppressor? It does not call him an oppressor. That is unfair reading. Asgalism is about systemic change. That young man is trapped in the same cycle of violence that all men find themselves since the dawn of time, that he must fight, that he must be a patriarch to have that good life. Asgalism would lay the foundation that allows him to be free from these burdens. He would be free to find that job, that good life, with the same prospects as everyone else. The foundation is laid by raising women to the forefront, by allowing them to flatten our hierarchies and bring about a new world. I don't care about men or women. I am an equal hater. We all suck. I suppose if a man already has it pretty terrible in a world where he's supposed to be at top, then a world where his advantages are gone would seem worse. I don't care. I hate them both. That's not a nice way to go through life. It is, however, surprisingly egalitarian. You need to come to that realization. The one every boy reaches toward the late stages of their capitalistic, pubertistic, and socialistic awakenings that, nope, not at all. It is only your placement you must understand. Figure out where you've planted these 2 feet of yours and accept where your bones will begin their incessantly slowish grind into pavement. Learn more. Steel yourself. Seek love. Be more. Suddenly understand gender? I don't think I'm... Well, I'm not wise enough for that. I mean, I like what wisdom is preaching, but I'm also stupid. So I'm gonna go with the strength thing. Everyone lay upon Jor's spectrum, each judged for their perceived and internalized values. You are approximately 0.52 decimals across the line into masculinity. That is, in a less abstract definition, a little overweight halfway to being a full man. What are you talking about, dude? I'm man-maxing? Slightly over halfway. What do you mean halfway? Does that mean I'm gasp a woman? Of course not. And do not react like some sensitive wimp. The feminine is a beautiful ideal by itself. Fearing it, fearing your position on the spectrum, is weakness by itself. The average man is, if you think back to your ability to sniff out manhood, usually placed around 0.50 decimals of masculinity. That makes you 0.02 more man than the average man. So I'm actually super manly is what you're saying. Let's not get carried away. You are approximately averagely, decently, middle ground manly. So you're saying I'm boring. You are exemplary in your defaultness. Now, you will choose. What am I choosing? You know the truth. Choose a side. Tell me more about Lady Fair. The halflings built a religion out of feminine love. You can do something similar. Lady Fair, extra proficiency in roles when speaking with feminine characters. Tell me about future patriarch. A brotherhood, a patriarchy. A good and just world is within your grasp. Extra proficiency in roles when speaking with masculine characters. I mean, I don't think there's one that's more useful than the other. You must think of this as a representation of your future struggles. In other words, the person who blew up the tea shop, the one you must discover. Will it be a man or a woman? Yeah, it's a man, a sorcerer. Yeah, what does feminine and masculine mean in this context? It means where the target lands on George's gender spectrum. They will always be one side of this esoterically decided middle point. If you disagree with that judgment, take it up with Jor. You cannot do that. Jor is dead. That is what they tell you, yes. Okay, I guess I'm gonna make a decision. Do so, stand tall. I guess based on the direction of this particular character, that they would go with strength, so they would take the patriarchal thingy. If it were a different character, I would just go wisdom, but I don't think that aligns with the background of this character. He's kind of a meathead. He thinks he's a little high and mighty. He sniffs his own farts. He's like, I'm the cleric, you know? He daps up his boys, you know? That's just kind of what this character is. So separating from the positives or benefits of the decision, I think he would pick future patriarch. Stand straight, shoulders back. Every man within a radius of 2 or 3 kilometers will respect you for your choice here. The rest will soon follow. Be slightly less confused about gender. We learned all that because a bunch of teenagers were arguing about their books. I'll take a poop to that. I'm not gonna lie, as an unlearned man, all of this goes above my head. Okay, so we can't... I see that there's nothing major that we can do with those, but it seems like certain quests... Forgo feet. What does that mean? It seems like when certain quests are completed, you're making like a character-based decision. I guess I could start putting points toward him being nationalist, but I kind of feel like he's apolitical also. Kind of just does what he does. Who the freak's this? Oh, he's just a sleepy little guy. You approach the ball of feathers and wings and really sharp claws. Magical beasts can sometimes understand basic common. You could try speaking to it. It's a griffin, right? You will require to speak with animals to communicate properly. You see a pool of drool forming underneath the open beak of the beast. Look behind it. There's an entrance to the warehouse on the other roof. If you want to get inside, you're going to have to get past this bad boy. Mythical beast snores before you. I don't even want to ask what the plan is here. I don't really want to do any of these things. I don't think any of this is the play. What a majestic creature. No, please don't pet it. And seriously, be careful. I am not cleaning up your guts if that thing skewers you. Skewers you. Alright. We're not gonna deal with that right now. We could, but I won't. I don't want to get skewered. One of the many free starter compounds in the city. Oh, it's shut because it's nighttime. I'm assuming a lot of this is going to be shut. Excluding the anti-magic messaging, free striderism comes with something. We'll never know. Schnur Applendant. Oh, he's just sleeping. Children's drawings on the wall. Scholarly commendation of the Ford Nymph Commonwealth. Almost dead tree. Something stuck between the pages. Ooh, treats! Just walk into this dude's house and steal. I love that about RPGs. A collection of books. I don't want to wake this guy yet. I'm just going to read his books without him. You see a collection of books from the philosophy canon, none of which you are really able to understand. Next to them, a line of famous political books: Asgul's Theory, Hedonist, The Dark Book of Shadow, Alexandro, and more. Alexandro is someone your patriarch quotes a lot. His ideas modernized theocracies and reads, reviving them towards the end of the Arcane Era. This era was the 4th out of 5 eras. When the Arcanists rose, and dominated the entire coast, only to fall when the Coast War crumbled their empires to dust. The Coast War was a great war, a conflict between the Arcanists of Reeds as well as every other nation connected with them across the coast. A horrible waste of human lives which claimed millions of lives. There was no honor in fighting that you know of. No free strider work. No, I haven't played Disco, Uzi. This is the first game like it that I've played. Definitely very inspired by Disco though. Let's open the Folk. This is the first book placed in your hands as an Earth Folk recruit. Open it. It's an old worn copy of the same text, musings about the divine era of great walking gods and their theocratic states. A history lesson morphing into a series of guidelines how modern leaders, as a response to torn out Coast War, should return to the old, proven, the organized, the divine. Although written from the perspective not faith nor service to the holy, but rather that of the service to the state. A modern theocratic vision, the nation an entity not bound by the protection and lifetime of its god. Instead, the nation-state will survive on unifying cultural traits passed down from that god to his people. This, Alexandria writes, will fasten them into the earth, creating firm groundings for the states to exist beyond any others. The later chapters go on to describe this dream of a millennium empire, this grand plan, a nation to survive the passing of eras. Alexandria's dream of an empire to last through the eras. He knew well how Arcanists, despite their greatness, could not last past their prime, nor could the old monarchies of the divine era. Even the beasts of Jor did not stand the test of time. It is the fascists who will create lasting order. Only them. Oh, cool. Fascism. Yay. Yeah, I've heard very good things about Disco. I've heard very good things. So, I'll give that a surely, definitely, maybe, sometime, for sure. A collection of ideas he gathers about a dream and ideology around order without weakness of monarchy, the chaos of democracy, or the esoteric dependence of magocracy. The Millennium Empire, the fascist ideal. Sounds like he was talking about the struggles of modern Norvik. Whatever your thoughts are, his book is used to reshape the city. You know well how effective it is. Okay. A Blind Manifesto by the Hedonists. This is the book. Always listen to your hungry stomach, it says with big ugly letters on the front page. You should listen to the book and the stomach. This foul debauchery. Same as always, the book begins with a tirade about property ownership. Then on the 5th page, you find a diagram showing how to ritualistically summon a demon. It's incorrect, however, on purpose, supposedly. The rest is a series of extreme essays on the topics of hedonism, rejection of statehood, free association, maximizing sensation, direct democracy, and reciprocal exchange. It paints up an image of an ideal world where all can live without strife, simply through cooperation and love of all things. Made illegal in many cities after its release in 466 AE, this rambling text has survived for one reason or another. It is the thing that makes you feel good. The text of truth! Interesting. There's a fascist in Disco too. The first boss fight of the game. It is funny how games like this structure like quote-unquote fights. Oh yeah, well Disco's like the founder, so that it checks out. Let's read about free love. You flip to page 52, you remember it well. It has pictures. Tiny scribblings, something akin to stick figures positioned in various enwrapped unities. Doing sex. You remember the words well. The guide on how to make the ultimate sensations of the flesh. It's kind of hot, but like in a sad way. Remember it well. You will need that one day. Okay. That's assuming that I will ever frick. Memoirs of a Statesman by Nicholas Darrow. We need to talk to this guy eventually. First few pages are devoted to a rambling text about the history of governing, from ancient texts from various beasts of Jor, the gods of the divine era, to several arcanist figures. Darrow then smoothly moves to conflate their accomplishments with his own, especially since he also includes an explanation of his lineage, that he is a direct firstborn grandson of Borgo Darrow, the first paladin of Earth. It is not so subtle. The many pages go on to describe both practical but mostly theoretical methods a statesman should use when dealing with the populace, the bureaucracy, and the ideologies of modern life. You haven't read this before. Luckily, you don't have the time to do so now either. Generally, the book has a rather rough tone about democracy. A quote you've heard before, this book pops up towards the end. Those who believe in democracy have a wonderful view of folk, to think of them capable of making rational and informed decisions devoid of personal bias and emotional conduct. From what you remember, it caused quite the stir when it came out 2 years ago. Stick it back. Yeah, this game also has a very cool style. Good music, good art. Very quirky, good writing. Thumbs up across the board so far. One of my main critiques, though, is just that, it doesn't have voice acting. It would be nice to have voice acting. I would like to hear what solid voice actors could do with some of this writing. And also that would help so that I don't have to yap as much. I could just sit here and drink water and relax. Don't have to pipe up so much. Yeah, that would be nice. Cause I gotta yap a lot with this one. I don't mind it, you know. I'm pushing through. Obviously, if you just play it by yourself, you can just read also. But then there's also some people who prefer an audiobook over an actual novel, so yada yada yada. Let's open the Dark Book of Shadow by the Shadow Lord. Edgy dude. You pick up the black-covered tome. A faint tingle goes through your gloved hand. That's the most evil book I've ever seen. How'd they even get the cover to be that black? It's like a void. A memory lingers in this tome. If you open, you shall recall. All right, open it up. The text is not so dangerous. The pages show but a holy scripture of the Shadow Lord's lost religion, one of the eternal servitude in search for life and death. However, you remember it well. This was the first book you were ordered to study as punishment for your idiotic behavior in the Towers. You remember. The Towers, the home base of the Order of the Arcane Clerics of Norbik, also known as the OACN. The first journey towards the esoteric. Let's recall it. Dude, we're getting some lucky rolls today. How liberating it was to know beyond any doubt how much greatness hid within your mind. Blurred faces, hushed whispers. A crowd of thoughtful peers, each snickering about your hand. A raised hand among a crowd of sheep. Patriarch, it's not just a religious text. They stare at you. It's a spell book. Those were the words. Oh, how they laughed. He asked you to prove yourself, so you did. I went up to the Patriarch, I took the Book of Shadow, and then I memorized Detect Alignment. You memorized it on the spot. Then you cast that ancient spell once used by the Death Knights of the Shadow Lord to subjugate and control the minds of his people. A spell that is, despite its first level, not learned by most clerics until they grasp the intricacies of higher tier casting. Death Knight, a term for warriors of necromancy. Many were created and fought during the Coast War, but most legendary were the Death Knights of the Shadow Lord during the Divine Era. Everyone was left stunned by your excellence. Not only to master such a spell, but to do it in seconds instead of days. That moment, it was yours. From that moment, you marked your place at the Towers as the greatest spellcaster and the greatest talent among them all. However, as always, the weak fear the strong. That moment also began your ostracization. You would never be among them, never have peers. None would see you in any way as a brother or a comrade. It would be an obstacle. You are. And you shall continue to be. Your vision is blurry. It is filled by the pages of that book. It is a good one, despite its religious fervor. As many say, the Shadow Lord was as much an early arcanist as he was the greatest of the walking gods. Yes! Oh, yeah. Hey, Belkaz. This part with the literature seems to be especially reminiscent of disco. It's definitely, very much inspired by disco. The music style, not a game. This guy's sleeping. This feels messed up. No way I rolled a 16. Scholar of the Fordnip, Commonwealth, a man working out of the hole in the wall. This is the type of man who knows exactly where he's going and is simply going there very slowly, deliberately. He knows his expertise, his moves are calculated, his journey is long. The esoteric is closely tied with scholarly arts. In the old days, no distinction between the two was made, but today in the modern world, his side is all but winning. I'm gonna wake him up. Take a step into the cramped office, standing in front of a sleeping halfling. Good afternoon, citizen! Oh. He widens his bushy eyes. His confused gaze focuses on you. Life is pain. What? Terrible, terrible pain. Oh. The wrinkles fold over another like waves on a storied sea. Are you... He looks at you with his weary expression, then he rubs his nose and sniffs twice. Are you here for the invoice? A quick glance to Snell. His words come out in a stilted halfling accent. What? The invoice! Should I have an invoice? And no. No? And no? Oh. Hold on. I've already paid that invoice. You're here for something different. He leans in, facing Snell. I hope Queen Goblin has no quarrel with this old scholar. He holds up his palm. Nah, we're only here on city business. Yeah, I just have a few questions about the tea shop. The tea shop? Then you are dealing with interesting events. The city has seen its fair share of great calamities over the years, and the Teashop Splosion appears tiny in comparison. Tiny? It's a huge conspiracy. A huge one? Better take care of it then. I'm trying! Curiosity is absolutely vital for keeping the old brain in motion, so I commend you, cleric. And you as well, my goblin friend. He looks around, grunting. Can I get either of you some fucking water, or... I like this guy. He's like a rabid dog without the biting, so far. No thank you. You're Scholar Aplendon, right? Me? Yes. I'm Schnur Aplendant, he says and bows his head in the chair. Scholar of Fordnip University, in dedicated service to the progress of AIS. What's that? Alignment Intent Studies. Primarily, my expertise lands on the topic of alignment and its historical and contemporary applications. Some bullshit, I'll tell you what. These days, I mostly deal with other forms of study. Specifically, I run this office here on the experimental technique of psychoanalysis. What kind of magic is that? No, it's not magic at all. Although there has been some detect thoughts involved at some points in the development. It is a form of mind healing, as they call it. I'll be one to call it support instead. It is essentially the idea that the mental present is shaped by the mental past, and that through dialogue, our unreleased unconscious ghost can be vanquished. So like an exorcism? Almost. While the ghosts are metaphorical, it is really not that different from the expulsion of a necrotic possession. In Reedsian, a Reedsian friend of mine once told me this joke, and I apologize if it's too vulgar for your taste, but he sputters out the words through little chortles. Ooh, I want to hear this. Right. A cleric, an arcanist, and a rogue delve into a lair of a succubus. The fiend defeats all three men, throwing them in her dungeon. But she grows to fancy them, so she offers them a choice. For each man who can successfully satisfy her, she will let that man go. Otherwise, she ends them, so to say. This is going to be a long tale. I actually haven't heard this one. If it's sacrilegious, you'll have to beat the gnome. What a rambunctious tale. Do go on. So the three adventurers debate in which order to go. Eventually, the rogue and arcanist decide the cleric should go first, as he is a virgin and will be least likely to increase her standards. Your goblin companion rubs his eyes as he listens to the joke. The cleric, being divine and so on, prays to his god and goes to the fiend's bedchambers. He comes out 10 minutes later completely unharmed and gives a thumbs up to his two friends, who of course both feel a great sense of relief. The arcanist goes in next, confident and arrogant. If the cleric could do it, the fiend must be easy. Within minutes, his bones roll out of the bedchamber entrance, the man having been incinerated by hellish flames. The rogue is horrified, but realizes, obviously, the arcanist overestimated his abilities, so he carefully enters the bedchamber, ready to put every ounce of effort to it. Less than a minute later, screams erupt from the bedchamber, and the rogue's lifeless corpse falls out of the entrance. The cleric prays for the souls of his comrades and gathers their remains for burial. The succubus steps out, smoking a cigarette. She tells the cleric, "My, your friends were truly terrible. They were just fumbling around down there. At least you managed to touch it a little." It's quite crass. To which the cleric responds, "You are truly an awful creature, and I will pray for your presence to be exorcised from this plane of existence every day until the day that I die." Then, before he walks away, the cleric also adds, "Oh, but I did heal that horrible wound you had between your legs. Hopefully that makes you less evil in the future." Okay. I get it. The wound, he healed the wound. Okay, dude. Quite crass. The halfling chortles loudly. The vagina. That's my kind of humor, you might say. In short, you can view the succubus as an evil in the world which religious fervor could pray to repair. However, such reparation could often lead to a not so optimal path. He keeps on laughing. Or, most simply, you could say it's a basic allegory for alignment itself. The cleric is meant well for all intents, but his actions cost the lives of both his comrades. Is that evil, or is it good, and so on? Either way, psychoanalysis, yes, that's what we're talking about. It's about your feelings, your thoughts, choices you've made, and things that have happened to you. They can bog you down, so to say. And the goal in my clinical practice is to root out in my patients' minds and help make them aware of repressed negative baggage, if you will, so one can move forward more speedily. It's like removing a curse of the mind. In a metaphorical sense, yes. But it's not the only thing I work on here. I am currently exploring the dream of animus. Sounds interesting. It is! Beyond that, I also focus a lot on my unverified theories. He slaps his knees and grins. The folk spirit, have you heard of it? Nope. Understandable, it's not yet published. The folk spirit is the working title for my new thesis. Most of it is, if you excuse my anarin, fucking bullshit. But in short, it is about how each folk share a number of core communal archetypes or myths. I've traveled around the coast to collect as many tales, writing down thousands of stories previously only passed down orally. All to see how well my theory holds up in the minds of so many folk. He clears his throat and leans back into his chair. Apologies, I'm ranting here. Let us put a stop to it. What do you want? Can you heal my mind? Of course, I am, however, a bit swamped with work today. I'll get you a booked slot. I have time after the election. You should come visit then. Okay. Great. I have not had a chance to hold a dialogue with a cleric. It'll be interesting. Truth be told, I am overworked. I'm struggling with a certain topic. He makes a noise that might have once been a cough. What? I'm focusing on a specific idea of civetics. The idea of two opposite faces of your ego, the masculine and feminine. But I just can't seem to get past a certain hurdle. Stare. You see, there's a work called the Book of the Mind. It is, in my opinion, civetics masterpiece in a figurative sense. Oh, is it like a secret book hidden in a dungeon? Oh no, I own several copies. There's a rare edition of this book which contains a rumored so-called final foreword from Civetics himself. In this foreword, he apparently reveals a revelation about his categorization of the psyche. Specifically on the topic of gender. Might be nothing, but it would be highly interesting to get my grubby hands on it. He leans in and whispers. More importantly, it would bring me great pleasure to know how much Civetics would be spinning in whatever Tasmanian mass grave he's buried in if he knew a halfling like myself was pioneering in his footsteps. Ho! So you're saying he wasn't a fan? Like most humans of his era, he was very, let's say, humanity first. Schnurr leans back in his chair. His final 6th edition of the book, it was only printed in 10 copies. The publisher then hiked up the price in order to sell it to collectors. Those collectors have spent the last 3 decades using the copies as a form of investment, making sure to keep the content of that foreword a tightly guarded secret. How terrible! Scholar's words should be freely available. Nothing is ever free, even if it's free. I don't think I could afford that. I don't doubt it. I drank a bit too much the other night, and in my desperation, I paid a diviner to cast a locate object for me. I didn't expect anything, and it was very expensive. However, she actually found it. A copy of the 6th edition Book of the Mind is here, very close to Waterlane View. And she even told me the exact direction. She points to the floor, about 40 meters, straight down. In the city below? Exactly! Meters? Right. It's like 100 feet. Sorry, the diviner was a freestrider. You know how they're like in reads. Silly decimal people. Yeah, dude, that's, too easy to understand. I need things more irrational. And you trust the diviner? Well, trust might be a strong word. But she connected to the freestriders, and while they are ruthless capitalists, they would not keep a scam artist around. Or if they did, it would be very funny, of course. What was the name of this person? Lisa. He sniffs. She used to have a hut on top of the Freestrider building. It wandered away, I think. What? He makes little walking motions with his fingers. Skadoodled, as they say. That is very strange. She seemed kind. I hope she stops working for those fucking parasites. So this is a quest, right? Sure, why not? So many side quests, Snell mutters to himself. Delve into the dangerous tunnels below and get me that book. Don't get yourself killed. In exchange, I will, well, what the fuck kind of reward do you want? You swear a lot, dude. Yeah, fuck you. Life is pain. Get over it. How about you teach me how to heal my broken mind? Impossible. I cannot fix another's mind. I don't think this guy can teach me how to be a man, but let's see what he says. Impossible. I have no idea myself. Pick something different. What about a magic item? I have books. You know what? The book itself. It's expensive and probably magical in some sense. Get me the book, let me take a look at the foreword, and you keep the book afterwards. That's still a quest, right? but I don't have to even return to you in that case. I can just take the book and go. True. I suppose I can offer some guidance in your understanding of the book as well. If you let me make a copy of that foreword real quick. Yay! I'm not an expert in what kind of weird shit is down there, but the city below is dangerous, so don't wander blindly.
Meek, no underground good. Meek, warn master in time for traps. Yes.
Good luck, cleric. Cool.
Yes. Oh, yes. The darkness below. I live inside it. I know it quite well. Yes, master. Yes.
What's the deal with the folk spirit? Imagine, if you will, the origin of our stories. All stories? As sentient folk, we clearly have the base of ability to come up with random ideas and turn them into emotionally resonant tales. Tales that explore the condition of life itself and make us feel many things. But an interesting thing happens if one were to study the core parts of these stories. That even if we look at stories crafted in entirely different bands, separate isolated tribes, or even in worlds outside Jor itself, there's overlap. Humans who live in remote mountains of Yim have the same repeated tropes of their foundational myths as humans in Reeds. Same for halflings. The Stormbloods of Kargamesh have the same variations of people in Fordnip. Despite being separated in esoteric evolution by at least 10 millennia, it's as if every folk is haunted by a spirit, like an unconscious collective dream of concepts and ideas that follow us, even when those separate folk originate from entirely different worlds. Could you imagine? Two folk arrive in two separate gates of Jor. They are alien to one another, culturally, spiritually, biologically, yet they share those core myths. That is what I'm studying. Huh, interesting. Isn't it? Most importantly, it's provable. Well, how so? Reproducibility, analysis. Cultures and folk who had no contact with one another, even originating from different worlds, both have the same core myths. Narrative traits, archetypes, repeated tropes. It's the same method used when uncovering ancient dead languages, using common denominators to narrow down similarities and differences. He adjusts his mustache. Now, there hasn't been that much reproducibility from my peers. I'm still working on getting other scholars in on this topic. Appledent looks a little bit like the protagonist of Disco. Might be an homage, you never know. Is there a folk spirit that's better than others? Better means nothing. There's so much weight put into making greater in some perspective than others. It's just a ridiculous game of dick swinging. That is a fun game, though, you have to admit. Swing, swing! Of course, I hate this horrid idea that every culture is amazing, wonderful, and, you know, everyone is holding hands and dancing together. No! Every culture is equally terrible. But they are all specialized. These symbols we produce are clothed in meaning based on lived experience. A human living in frozen tundra will derive and require much different practical uses of core myths than a man living in the harsh deserts, yet each folk has a type, its own fundamental traits that these symbols represent. Interesting. It's a lot of junk with some nuggets of gold. That much I will say. What happens when these two folk types merge? Ah, yes! He lifts a finger. I don't know. It's even harder to pinpoint due to the nature of merging cultures. In this case, in cases like humans and dwarves here in Norvik, there's more data but not enough to say anything of note. But it seems to me like the folk spirit remains pure in a sense, in one direction or the other. For example, humans can obviously reproduce with dwarves, sexy, but the offspring is always aesthetically and biologically speaking very human, which does not make sense biologically. We are, scientifically speaking, different species. Dogs do not breed with cats, do they? The same effect can be seen in most functional folk, mixed breeding. Logically, it should not be. Evolutionary adaptation dictates the creature of a mixture, not a one-sided creature. So it is theorized to be some type of powerful esoteric effect that allows this reproduction to take place. In the scholarly community, we call it OSO effect, one-sided offspring. So one side's always dominant? Not biologically speaking, but esoterically? Yes, objectively so. Spam those emotes, boys! Spam those emotes! I don't know why, that makes me laugh in a text-heavy RPG. You know a lot about this. Are your mom and dad human and dwarf? I'm afraid this is all coming from experiments performed by Arcanists, horrifically so. Spam those emotes! But doesn't that mean the dwarves would eventually stop existing in Norvik and just become human? That's a good question. If two people live alongside one another for a long enough time and they reproduce with one another equally, but the offspring are aesthetically human, then yes. Eventually there would be only one people, and it would be the people who look human. However, there's a big factor in charge here. That is the elusive and enticing topic of mating preference. There's not much proven data I can point to, but if you allow me to speculate, then I would say only a minority of the population of any tribe will ever have a strict preference for mating outside of that tribe. Without a basic assumption like that, I do not believe the tribe itself would remain intact enough for civilization to emerge. So in that case, the dwarves and Norvik, I do not believe that the two tribes can ever truly merge. Cooperate? Yes. Cohabitate? Of course. Even mingle and date and crossbreed? Absolutely. Why not? But merge? No. Impossible. Of course, this assumption ignores the OSO effect, so it feels a bit crackpotty. Take it as you wish. And so you think the folk spirit follows the OSO? Maybe. I'm not done enough work to say anything for sure. Nor have I been peer-reviewed. Nor am I very sane or stable. Okay. The goblin crosses his arms, ready to hear your comment. I think you got something cool cooking here, brother. Oh, do you? Gives you a quick nod. I would not spend my old age here if I did not agree in some sense. Thank you for listening to my rant, cleric. You as well, my goblin friend. You're welcome. This guy does have a lot to say, my goodness. You're an expert in alignment? Somewhat. I wrote my masterpiece on the subject. That should account for somewhat of an understanding on the subject, but not enough. Never enough. Can you change your alignment? Of course. Any creature is capable of leaning in the axis depending on their day-to-day actions. So are devils just lazy? He scratches his cheeks. Bit more complicated than that. Look. Like all things, it's messy. Let's say you're lawful evil. Okay. You find that being labeled evil is bad for your business or your work prospects, as one might. So you choose to donate a large sum of money to charity that will inevitably help thousands. You might even save some lives with those spent coins. But okay. In this case, you performed an objectively good, selfless action for evil, selfish reasons. So what happens next? He points at you. Nothing. Nothing, but I did a good thing? You remain lawful evil. But let's change the parameters. Instead, you are a lawful evil man who genuinely wishes to repent, to pay for the many things you've done in your life before. If this man performs a selfless action with the intention of selflessness, then all of a sudden it will begin to shift in his alignment. So, intention, huh? This effect has obviously been studied for centuries. It's aptly named the alignment intent studies. I personally received my scholarship through studying delusional intent. We gathered a large amount of very mentally unwell people, mostly from local prisons and post-war reads, who truly believed in very different worldview than most others. For example, this one man was certain that he had to kill his fellow man or the world would end, one murder a week. An extreme delusion, however, any detection spell showed him to be neutral good, and he felt terrible about all the murders he had committed. He was not selfish. In fact, he was more selfless than most, willing to perform acts that horrified him in order to save us all. The objective outcome of his actions mattered not, no more than the outcomes of the actions of a person under a charm spell. So what's the difference between alignment and personality? Not too much correlation on paper. Studies on personality show that there is overlap. Conscientious folk tend to be more lawful. Neurotic and open folk tend to be more good to a minor degree. So what if I'm not smart enough to understand my actions? That is what we call the sentience line. It's not exact. Animals, for example, are true neutral by default, and that is any that is not a pure beast, but rather affected by some esoteric forces on some level. That's the theory, at least. But imagine a man who loses enough of his mental faculties to be considered a beast, no longer living in the world of good or evil. Let's say he was chaotic good beforehand. What happens to this alignment? Does he certainly turn true neutral? Is he stuck at chaotic good, or does he somehow slide toward true neutral? Because that's another thing. There is no known way to perform a neutral action. All actions are either in some level selfish, selfless, lawful, or chaotic on a wide spectrum. But you can never just move towards the center. It's not allowed. Nico, thank you for the 55 streak. You're crazy. I already know I'm chaotic good. Prove it. What's the most chaotic way to prove that you're good? Gifting 50 subs. This game is perf for your to play with the funniness and the voices. I love the NPC too. Oh, the little goblin at the bottom. Glad you like him. Sorry he's covering up a little bit of text. I'm true neutral. I think I'm chaotic neutral. Or pure evil. How do you end up at your alignment to begin with? Are you born with it? No. All creatures are born true neutral. And all reported metrics show babies are unable to perform alignment shifts until the age of about 3 to 7, depending on the folk. But interestingly enough, it's shown that most people will only perform 1 or 2 alignment shifts in their entire lifetime. He scratches his cheek and sniffs a couple times during adolescence. After that, less than 1/10 of folk will ever shift again. That is fairly substantially verified data as well. So essentially, despite having free will, folk will always lean towards the natural behavior over time. So we're slaves to our nature then. On broad scales, when looking at the data, yes. But it was Civitix who wrote, "There is no honor in branding a naturally selfless man as good. There is all honor in a selfish monster receiving the same title." Remember that. Does that mean that everything I do is branded as good, evil, chaotic, or lawful? Even this, what I'm saying right now? Oh, I'm freaking out! In some small sense, yes. The very act of speaking, no matter what you say, will always give you a very, very small point in any direction. Although, could you imagine trying to keep track of it all? It would be insane. So no person would ever go to such lengths. So no need to keep track of stuff like that. It will only drive you mad. So you can will yourself into changing your alignment? In theory, yes. Okay. I've made my decision. Well, this guy's a cleric, so he's trying to be good, but he doesn't know whether to be lawful or chaotic, so he's just neutral good. That's not how it works, cleric. You'd have to be incredibly deluded, and I mean absolutely living in your own world, mentally unstable, in order to simply decide what your alignment were and actually get an outcome for it. But I suppose it can't hurt. Good luck being, sorry, what did you choose again? It was, yes? Lawful good, of course. Give! Give until your bones hit the pavement. Makes more sense to focus on yourself without being constricted by rules. Chaotic then. Perhaps chaotic evil? Maybe don't say that out loud though. Neutral. Neutral. Oh. That is what keeps your innards from cramping all night. To know you are not a burden upon the world. Neutral good. Right, good, neutrally so. Good luck with that, cleric. I don't know that we need these definitions, but let's see what you think good is. I cannot offer a universal answer. That is impossible, but from data, there are a few ways of distilling the essence of goodness. For example, the amount of good you are is directly correlated with the amount of time you spend inside your own mind worrying about how much pain you've inflicted upon the world. And of course, practically, it also means performing selfless actions. Performative sacrifices done entirely for the purpose of helping others, instant goodness. What about evil? Most people would say they know it when they see it, but practically it means selfishness. For example, a person with a mental pathology that disallows compassion and empathy, making them naturally only hold care for no one but their own self, that is naturally an evil individual. But at the same time, we are all basically evil, egotistical, disgusting creatures in the end, if push comes to shove, as they say. Since obviously all of us have a part that is focused more on our own survival rather than the survival of the foreign. Otherwise, you would not be alive in the evolutionary sense. How do you define chaotic? Now that can be difficult to parse sometimes. We've done many experiments to try to distill the exact meaning of it, but it's difficult. Mainly because who decides what is law? Gods? Your local government? Village elder? No. What is chaos and order is universal. A law can be chaotic, as contradictory as it sounds, if its dictation brings chaos into the world. But generally what we've found is that there are a few common rules that chaos follows. Breaking down structures, whether that is building or a building or a hierarchy of society. Lies. In fact, any action that purposefully goes against a known truth is considered chaotic. And of course, randomization. Rolling a dice is inherently a chaotic act, as is any form of gambling. That's actually one of the easier ways of measuring chaotic behavior. We used to go to the local gambling parlor. Good times. All right, now you're going to define lawful for me. Lawful actions can be difficult to perform. Ugh. Uh-oh, Slink's on DBD. Queue up, gamers, queue up. DBD gamers, queue up. Crafting buildings, for one. Hierarchies or structures, keeping families intact and orderly organizations, as well as following the truth. There have been many tyrannical lawful governments throughout history that quickly succumbed to chaos due to their warping of the truth itself. But then again, if you can convince people to enter another reality, if you will, where a lie is true, then all of a sudden the folk in that reality will be lawful, despite working and living in a lie. It can get very convoluted and fascinating. Who decides what any of this means? There are theories. Some say it's the gods, some say it's Jor himself who controls the parameters of a world of his. Some believe it's simply inscribed into the universe, an absolute law. Well, what do you think? I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say it is something overlapping between worlds. Mostly because I do not believe Jor, from all that I've read, to be smart enough to make up a system as complicated as this on his own. So I'm thinking, based on what I'm hearing, that Jor is like the stand-in for the dev. You know? Kinda.
Light the beacons of Gondor! Slinketh requires aid! You shall join and survive with friends!
But by doing so, you will deem yourself chaotic evil. Bitch. Does alignment matter? Oh, not in any real way. It can be a tool, but if you cannot read it properly, seeing a man branded with chaotic evil means nothing. But if you learn, it can be used to understand folk better. You can statistically expect an evil person to act in their own interest, and you can expect a good person to act in the interest of others. A smart man can use this to his advantage, which is also an evil act, I believe. Huh, kind of funny. Why isn't it illegal to be evil? Might as well make it illegal to be sentient. Branding it as evil might be the core problem here. There were arcanists who created an alternate naming convention for alignments. Altruism and egotism, for example. But it did not catch on, as they say. Everyone has to be evil sometimes. Imagine your family is starving alongside 2 other families who are also starving. The other families are smaller folk who need only half as much food. Would you feed your own family or sacrifice them to feed the other 2 families? The only correct option. Feed your family, except yourself. Use your own food to feed the children of the other families. Then die, honorably. I guess it depends on what the families are. They're just as nice and lovely as your own. Okay. I would do what Strength said. I would feed my family except for myself. Then I'd give up my food and die with honor. That, among all other options, I would argue is a purely selfless action indeed. What exactly is objectively considered in alignment terms in this scenario? Is it selfish to care for your own people before others? Has it more to do with the exact number of people who will live or die, suffer or prosper in a purely utilitarian perspective? These questions have all been asked before and have arguably already been answered. From what we can see, especially looking at the data collected from horrendously unethical experiments performed by Arcanist scholars, it's just about the intention. If a man chooses to focus on his own family but feels really bad about the starving families, then he will be more good than the other man who does not think of the others suffering at all. The proximity rule states that the emotional distance between yourself and the target determines the level of selfishness. If you sacrifice your life to protect your family, that's more selfish than if you sacrifice your life for a stranger, and the latter is more good. So in the end, a genuinely selfless person will always have a much easier time being branded with good than a naturally selfish one. He scratches his eyebrows simultaneously. By the gods, I talk too much. Please make me stop. Hey, Balam, how's it going, buddy? How's your stream? Thank you for the raid. How you darn? I just arrived and I was told to queue into DBD. Yeah, do it. It's your punishment. You weren't nice enough this week. Go on. Take your punishment. I'm gonna re-download Diablo 4. When are they adding Warlock to D4? When does that happen? Kept saying I had no connection on DVD. Oh, it's when I was about to say, well, guys, it's Wednesday. Obviously, it's Steam maintenance, guys. Stream was fun. Nice. Who were you playing? Pain res. I don't know what none are free are. Solidarity's kind of cheeks. Resurgence is cool. When Lord of Hatred drops. Oh, the expansion or whatever. Alright. This guy is sweating from how many questions I'm asking. Hey, dude. You're not done yapping. What is love? Love! Pure calamity, deadly and destructive. Its nature's just perverted and foul. because it is a complete surrender without idealization. To love is to accept without proof or demands or conditions. This is complete surrender to another. Ridiculously risky. So I shouldn't love? Yeah. If you can, yes, of course. You should not take such a risky bet. Then he takes a breath. Love is a completely unpredictable and dangerous encounter, and I have yet to meet a sentient folk which is not afflicted by it, and interestingly enough, I see no difference. It is universal. Elf love, halfling love, devil love. True love is always irrational. It is finding the perfect inside of the imperfect, and falling entirely into it, swallowed by it. Some folk might act it out in different ways depending on their communal nature or biological urges. But if you are one of the few who do not need it, good, be happy. If you are not, then good luck, and may the gods bless your soul. How does death and resurrection work with all this stuff? What do you mean? Can death change your nature? Necromancers and old arcane era traditions did much study on the topic. And yes, death and subsequent resurrection can function as a reset for the mind in a way. Ooh, this game is telling us that we need to roll a necromancer in the new season of Diablo 4. I guess that's how it goes. Yeah, Katana, that's not good. See, you gotta sign up for some solo queue. Sorry, you don't even get to join the Swift for that. But arguably no less than any other severe trauma. The data is hard to trust, so I will not say it for sure. There's much to study on that topic. Do you think that there's a soul? The fuck do I know? Ghosts exist, of course, as do wraiths and other foul undead spirit things. And there is much arcanist data on such things, like if a person is resurrected, their ghost ceases to be. That implies the ghost is the soul, right? But speak with the dead does not. In fact, a ghost is technically able to ask questions to its own corpse. Very surreal. Which implies the soul also leaves a conscious remnant of itself which is able to be animated through magic. And if a person is resurrected, even after very long periods of time, they will have no memory of their time as a free soul. Thus, there is evidence that the soul is not so much your personhood, that shit is all up in the brain from what we could see, but rather as some type of divine spark, like a power source that wants to be one with the universe or your god. The Lich is specifically a creature who consumes these so-called souls for their own gain, which is not very common. The destruction of that magical spark is of course a horrid crime of metaphysical levels, since resurrection, rebirth, or unity with one's god is impossible at that point. But then again, back in the day, it used to be common for mortals to sell their souls to various devils and aberrations. So you're saying I should sell my soul? How much do you think it's worth? I suppose the interesting question to ask is, do you even own your soul? And who are you in relation to your soul? Can one spontaneously resurrect? Is that what happened to me? Over Warlock or Pally? Well, Warlock's not out yet. Otherwise, I'd say Warlock. And I don't own the whatever I have to own to make a Pally. Can one spontaneously resurrect themselves? I've not heard of such a thing, but why not? Okay. Why don't you use magic in your mind healing? Oops. It doesn't work. Not the greatest arcanist could invent a spell capable of fixing mental unwellness. If you happen to find a cure mind spell, you would make a fucking fortune casting it on rich people around the coast. Although just the thought of such magic gives me a sort of ontological nightmare. What does it mean to have a cured mind? Did Jor or some outside god at some point decide what constitutes a wound with the mind? In the same way suffering is used to heal the wounds of the physical? Pain equals negativity. That is universal. Yes. When you heal a person, magic itself targets the source of pain as a sort of bullseye for reverting any harm, no matter the source or specific biology of the person. But what if one suffers from night terrors caused by some horrors of the past? Should a mind heal spell remove your ability to have night terrors? Or should it remove their traumatic source from your memory? Or simply lessen your mental ability of neuroticism? Could the latter lead to a society without neurotic people? Would that also dampen other fears? What would Jor consider to be a good level of negative thoughts? It sends the mind spinning! I believe the world inside each mind needs to be diverse with both good and ill. I agree. The most neurotic people might be somewhat tortured, yes, but they are also some of the greatest thinkers and philosophers, perhaps even partially due to that internal pain. The halfling leans back in his chair. No, the mind requires another method, one I and many others are attempting to untangle. We will see if any of us are even remotely successful in this brain bullshit. I know where I need to go for the book. It's in the city below. Do you know anything about the tea shop? He gestures wildly toward the rocky wall. Shit started shaking. It was as if the red rock of Tolstad itself was cracking for half a second or so. So you were down here? Yes. I think I was asleep, but the sound woke me. Did you check it out? No. Someone told me what it was like. Did you hear anything about it? You should not believe rumors, but yes, I did hear some nasty stuff. Some people think the owner did it himself since he is missing. Some others think the city did it since they printed a clear lie in the post. I've also heard people say Asgulus are responsible since it was their hideout. Or that the Free Striders did it for the same reason, blowing up Asgulus opposition and so on. It's all bullshit, of course. Don't believe the rumors. Well, what do you think? I don't know. Okay. Is someone in YouTube chat talking about joining DBD? Not seriously. Oh, you're in the YouTube chat now. That's like a threat. Are you gonna join me? You gonna play DBD with me? It's like holding a knife to somebody's throat. I heard you wanted to swift. I'll do anything but solo queue. Gotta queue up his killer. What are you voting in the election? I'm a filthy Asgulus. Why call it filthy? Have you ever seen a clean Asgulus? Ho ho! The green banner is flown in a strange context here in this Republican wet dream of ours. Asgulism is supposed to be about abolishing the entire structure of hierarchy. That history is driven by economic struggles, specifically the clash between classes, like Clash of Clans. Asgul's end goal is a classless, stateless society where everyone's equal. But looking at Norvikian Asgulus, it's clear to me that they long ago let this goal slip past. Look at them. They are shaking hands with the establishment, trying to find a peaceful solution. So you want revolution? Look. Genuine change, true change, needs a truly revolutionary break with the existing order. There's no doubt about that. Incremental reforms, small changes within capitalist system will always fail to address its fundamental contradictions and injustices. My time in Reeds has made that clear to me. But always be wary of simplistic utopian visions. It is a path covered in corpses that leads such blind idealism. So I will vote for this social democratic compromise. This handshake with capital. Then I'll go home and piss myself and die. Dreaming the next generation will have answers I do not. Cool, good compromise. I truly hate the idea of tipping the hat to these truly fascist regimes. And yes, even the revolutionary Free Striders are fascists in a deep sense. How do you think they got their start? Through the coin of those who profited, the great suffering of old Dementor, and the Coast War, and the grinding flesh of humanity. Free Striderism is filthy opportunism and republicanism. They are just arcanist regimes with a painted mask and slightly less horrific esoterical power in hand. Slightly. We don't even try to bring about Asgul's dream. I don't know. I'm an idiot. You figure it out. Workers unite and unionism and guild power, it's all well and good until it gets too loud. Makes a bit too much noise, and the true powers quickly and efficiently drop this illusionary mask, the facade, the esoteric spell that tricks us into thinking they care, or that they are in any way Folkarian. So what about you? You're voting Asculus, I presume? Voting? Ha 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 ha. Ah, I see. You're an agent of complete narcissism. I don't know that word, so your comment doesn't faze me. I'm stupid. That's okay. Also, you called me a gnome, so I'm going to try to insult you. Oops. He sniffs. Now, for something else before I start ranting about the suffragette movement. Your companion glances at you. No, tell me about the suffragettes. The halfling wags a finger at you. You're a brave man, Cleric. Thanks. When the first talks of an election began, it was late Arcane era, about 30 years ago. In those early days, the suffragettes were mostly dwarven women. They had the backing of a few hardcore Universal Asgulus sects that had remained since the Great Project concluded. But when Earth died and talks of an election grew loud, the dwarven women had a hard time getting through, both because of less progressive Asgulus and, of course, the traditional cultural practices of Earthful. So the movement didn't kick into gear properly until human women decided to join. Oh boy, those are scary. Tell me about it. Mind you, this was after 2 decades of dwarven women pushing for universal suffrage. Within just a few years, with the voice of angry rich human women yelling and writing and protesting, the palace patriarch gave in. That's the history lesson, but here's the part I'm fucking furious over. What? Those rich human women? Do you know what happened to them? He waves his hand. I'll tell you, many of them are today fascists. Can you imagine? They run an incredible campaign in order to get the right vote, to break their chains of oppression, to piss off the tyrannical men. Smash the patriarchy and so on, all to throw their lot in that very same traditionalist ideology, an ideology that clearly wants to, well, of course, just not have any voting going on at all, but specifically not allow women to vote. Shrug, I don't understand women. Well, 2 greasy men are not going to figure it out exactly, but it won't stop me from thinking about it. Part of me thinks that it has to do with some type of opportunism. These are women whose time in the spotlight ended once they won the right to vote. Suddenly, their entire platform of activism disappeared overnight. But even still, why nationalists? They realize that the homeland needs protection. Perhaps there is some, if you don't mind me speculating wildly, some type of perverse psychosexual thing at play here. What? No, nationalism is a pure ideology. There is no sex involved. Or it is simply a question of class. It probably is. Yes, probably. They are mostly a group of rich people, and that would logically supersede their identity as women. If the rich human position in society is threatened, they have more to lose as rich than as women. It's a complex topic, and I don't have fucking time to think about it, even though I want to desperately figure it out. But that is something I'm fascinated by, you know? Anyways. You're a halfling, right? Give me some thoughts on the Clanlin ordeal. Ordeal? He scratches his nose. Is it that bad? Bad? No. Understandable. Inevitable. My homeland is a shell of broken people. The clans in my kin, especially those stuck under the occupation across the Golden Line, they are being systematically destroyed, step by step, as the Horde marches into Ascani land. Isn't there peace right now? Peace, in the most devious technical sense, yes. He grunts. The Clanlands deal, this armistice, seen by many as a practical solution since there are only 2 clans left to be enslaved and integrated as Horde tributaries. He slams his hand into the side of the chair. It is a band-aid. Celestials view time in centuries, while we see in decades at best. Thus, they can take one piece at a time with generational acceptance in between. It is the most clean method of genocide, one of radiant ghosts, an insidious, toxic love. Well, what will happen to them? Tomorrow, nothing. In a decade, not much. Fortnite will still stand by the time I die in 30 or 40 years, but by the end of this new era, my homeland will surely be eradicated. That is my estimation. Did you live in the Clanlands? When the Golden Line was drawn? Yes. It's not that interesting, but I was on the western side when it happened. There wasn't enough food to go around, so I pulled some strings to smuggle myself east. It's a whole story. I can't say much more. My clan, the Appledens, all live in Tipberry. So it's not some big personal tragedy on my part. It's more of folkish destruction, a grander trauma, something generational, even if I were to witness it. I imagine you could feel something similar about the Coast War. It's actually extremely interesting. You could write a book on that. I have. Can't get it published though. No one wants to deal with legal threats from the Horde. I get it. Isn't there resistance in Fortnite? Of course. It's a whole damn mess. Ignoring the actual guerrilla resistance west of Line, there's been massive rally around anti-celestial sentiment in the east. They have attempted sanctions with Norvig, VK, and Ilum backing. There's even a coast-spanning outreach all the way to Kargamash to build some type of coast-spanning halfling coalition. Nothing works. The Horde has a finger in most every trade port. They own land and hold strong ties to every regime. Even Norvig has not officially backed their neighbors. Without Earth, with Lady Fair not so existing, they are, as the kids say, steamed. As you can imagine, the halfling population of the hills are not too happy about this, but what can they do? An Asgal victory might change things, but Free Striders are in celestial pockets, as are the Patriarchs. So yes, there is a resistance, but as of yet, there is no practical way out of this frog being boiled, I'm afraid. Why does the Horde want the Clanlands? It's a basic resource conflict. Amber, you know, Electrum. The Commonwealth is the only reliable source of amber for many esoteric use cases. Spell storing, item crafting, consecration, esoteric attunement. It is an extremely useful material and a powerful one, so it is really no wonder that the Horde wants to expand their Golden Line. If Norvig was more reliant on amber as a resource, I'm sure they too would covet those hills. But trading with the halflings does not seem so different from trading with the Horde, at least not today. Are the Celestials influential in Norvig? Yes. They have a lot of soft power and trade mostly. The Horde ambassador is known to fling their contracts around like a devil in disguise, mostly to stop halfling-owned corporations from operating without major hassle. Any halfling would tell you the same. They luckily don't care for tiny clinics like my own, but he sniffs. They will not stop in the material realm. They must go into their psychic as well. The Golden Horde, their annexation of the land, is just the final step. Before that comes many little crushings of thoughts and dreams and a tyranny of pure ideology. They shape perceptions to maintain control. Boy, I have let this guy yap for a really long time. Do we even want to ask him personal questions? Okay, I won't dive deeper. Alright, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good one, buddy. We just yapped away the world with him. Give me this. I earned your coins. See you later. We just yapped away the world with that guy, man. I learned every possible bit of lore that I could. That was basically a date. Yeah, I didn't even get a kiss when I left. That's so messed up. You get a kiss? No kiss? You approach the door. Bookbinder, you got business here? Of course, I have a deep love for books.
That's fun. I didn't expect that considering, everything. I'm not a big reader myself, but I indulge occasionally.
Sound surprised. But it's just banter. You can handle it. What? You think I don't like books? I'm a professional and highly esoterically minded cleric. Of course I love books.
Are you upset?
Cracks a smile.
Like, genuinely?
Slightly, yeah. You feel a bubbling brewing. It is rage. Make grumpy cleric noises.
Well, maybe we shouldn't just stand out here talking in front of a shop. You knocking or we leaving?
Within seconds of the knock, the slit on the door slides wide open. Beyond, you see a pair of large yellow eyes glaring at you. Heyo! Bird. Is this pest control? The eyes quickly tilt to the left. Tilt? In a sense? The eyes push closer to the slit in the door. As they do, a bush of gray feathers pokes out. Bird folk.
An owl!
A cleric? Yeah, duh. I'm hecking leaning into my position as a cleric. I am a cleric. What's up, Sam? Congrats on your poop. What's up, Ramrod?
Shen Lian is my name.
I have a ruined prayer book. Can you fix it? Prayer book, yes. I have seen quite a few. Drop inside. I will check a look. Okay. Doink. Yes, horrible. Salt water left swollen. You could have avoided the worst of this if the drying process had been handled better. I will rebind this foul mess for you. How much will it cost? We will see. It depends on the process. I will need guidance on the direction of rebinding. The spells inside are lost, however the style and formatting can be saved. Using my skills, I can aim at something from the towers, which would be most similar to the original works. I could also focus on the rebinding it in the style of a druidic ledger, or perhaps as a grimoire of the dark and forbidden arts. Have you worked on cleric stuff before? Yes. I am not an official merchant of the towers, but many come to me for better prices and better service, despite how little most clerics enjoy working with my kin. That's terrible. I'm not like those other girls. I don't care. I'm not your friend. Now make a choice. We can do original forbidden magic or druid stuff. I'm gonna go with the OG. Return tomorrow, not while the sun rises. I am either resting or working intently during those hours. Are you finished with my book yet? Judgmental. You, Benden. Do you suffer from memory loss? Oh, right. I just turned in the book. Sorry. The owl sighs. You want to go drink? You want to go grab a drink? No. Okay. Are you a scholar? Or you're interested in the arts? I'd love to hear more about you. I was trained in the knowledge back in Three Wings. I know many things, but no time to talk or share. I am busy. If you want scholarly teachings, go speak with my upstairs neighbor. Already did. And he's not a gnome. He's a halfling. Thank you very much. You know him. Good. And I will not learn the difference between gnomes and halflings for the same reason you people call my kind birdfolk, clumping us together with the foul feathers of the darker bands. Fear, mostly. Self-preservation. Understandable. Why do you need help from the pest control guild? Rats. Oh. They are awful. They keep spawning out of the sewer pipes. Yeah, they should take care of that. Yes! Wait, if you're an owl, shouldn't you just eat the rats? But that bastard guild leader tore limb slip. keeps telling me they don't have time. No time? They have a dozen teams running around the city. No time? I've heard the big problem is that they cannot get anyone to do pest control missions at 1-star levels. The PCG has a ranking system based on the danger of any particular pest they handle. Of course, rats would be a 1-star problem. The halfways, we haven't relied on the PCG for years. They just don't have the time for anything over a 2-star danger ranking. It is very annoying. I have looked into it, and the problem is the PCG teams that join the guild only take on 1-star missions for a couple of weeks. Then they quickly start focusing only on higher paying tasks, and all the actual normal pests keep on spreading throughout the city. It is a ridiculously idiotic system. So while all the mimics and monsters keep getting slayed, nothing is being done about the darn rats. Your scarf nudges up against your left ear and whispers,
Meek, think people in that dungeon dislike Mimic. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Meek get it. Meek understand. But still, it's not fun to hear.
like, actually, this is really inefficient. Entirely due to it being a public thing, of course. Had it been privatized, the problem is that it's too privatized. If the city held full control of all pest control, then even the less valuable missions would be handled, obviously. So Earth would personally go into the sewer to stomp rats, you say? Yes! If necessary, yes! The bird takes a few breaths after his rant. The worst part, my nephew has a team himself, the White Doves, they're called. And I've tried sending messages to him also, but he just says the same thing. Too busy. Too busy. Well, I could join the guild and then solve that for you. He scoffs. Sure, and then you go and take up all the big and scary monsters that crawl up into the city, ignoring all the actual pests, just to get a payday. No way, I'd work my ass off trudging through the sewers, catching rats for a barely nothing payout, all for the satisfaction of a hard day's work. Really? Yes, I'm that good of a guy. I'm sick. Well, if everyone was like you, this city would be a better place. What's the deal with your nephew? Calls himself Valerian Windrider. That is the Norvikian way of saying his name. He's also active in the Free Strider party if you're interested in throwing a vote for one of my fellow Owlkin. He works with one of those filthy Yobas, which I am not happy about. Oh, and a halfling. A cleric, in fact. Of the Lady Fair Church. Interesting. I could take a look at your rat problem. Sure, and then you go and take on all the big and scary monsters. No. Wait, what? Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I can take a look at your problem. If you do, I would be very happy. The rats seem to come from the sewers connected to the city below. Alright, well, I'll... maybe. Alright, thanks, buddy. Round and round we go. What's up, Sid? Sam's Club pizza for Din Din. It was $2.50 and 2 slices for 2 slices and a soda. That's a deal. It's a pretty good freaking deal. I already had dinner, but I didn't have a lunch, so I'm starting to get hangry. I wish I like hot dogs, because I swear I would get one of those glizzies every time. Every time I went. It's such a good deal. It's like the second best deal that Costco has, behind the rotisserie chicks. The chickens is number 1. The hot dog is number 2. Numero dos. This door looks promising. Ooh, I like promise. You stand before a damp door in a cramped corner house. Wood is dark, swollen with a perpetual moist of water. A layer of river mud and algae. Do you know someone here? No. Then why are you standing here? Yes? Why does that sound like a question? You rap your knuckles against the wood. A solid rhythmic knock. Just wait. A moment passes, then the sound of a heavy latch sliding. Door creaks open. A pair of bulbous eyes stare up at you. It is an Anaran. What is it? I am busy. What crazy foul language does this creature speak? I wanted to introduce myself. I'm a local hero. Mon Dieu. Why? Wait. He squints at your uniform. Are you, how do you say, Le Clerc? Yes, I am the cleric. Ah, bon. He nods respectfully. At least you're not from the Tithe House. The Anaran peeks his head behind the door. Why do you ask him I'm a cleric? Because you smell of incense and self-righteousness. Self-death, imbecile. That's kind of rude. What's your name? I am Guillaume de Croix. Oh, what's that mean? Nothing you need to know. What do you do here? I am here. You got a nice house. No, it is, as you say, shit. Temporary, until I take the next ship home. I'm gonna ask for a contribution to my cause. I'm the local cleric. Actually, should I put on... Yeah, let's just try it. I'm a cleric. Dude, how am I winning these roles? Just smile, the kind of smile that opens wallets. Oh, and kisses ass hard. My good sir, surely a gentleman of your stature supports the arts or the holy cause? Ah, flatterie. He sighs, his throat pouch inflating slightly. Told you. You are charming. Yes, ennui. He reaches for something on the other side of the door. Take this, now, au revoir. He shoves a fancy bottle toward you. The door slams before you can say thank you or anything else. The pinkish liquid swirls around. Concentrated, potent. Lovely. This will make things much smoother. So you really just went and knocked on some stranger's door? Look, I'm not gonna knock your methods too much, but if you keep this up, we'll be done by 6 months after the election. And you didn't even ask about the tea shop. Not once. Oh, don't be so negative, Schnell. The goblin closes his eyes in a short, silent contemplation. Then he says, maybe stick to, les points d'intérêt, okay? That's funny. I like that. Points of interest, I think, is what he was trying to say, but he said it in some foul demon language that made it difficult to understand. These pipes connect with the vast sewer of Tolstad. Cool beans. Conquest by river, land by heart. A path along the water. That's a path along the water. I'm a pathological liar. A statue of Earth. Dude, I really do just be wandering around and talking to anybody. I've spent so much time this night just blabbing. The never sleeping docks of Waterlane right below here. Hello, little statue. Ah, yes, this little figurine does still count as a shrine. Shouldn't I move it? Shouldn't more people know where it is? No. It's chosen its path. What? The figure of Earth. This is a makeshift shrine. and to stand exactly where it is and where it might go. Ready to serve whoever needs him the most. Just like you. Okay. Oh, I can have 7 now? Oh no, I can prepare 5. I don't know how detect alignment even helps me. Okay. Yerv and Werner Herzog have that in common. What, we don't like glizzies? I didn't know Werner Herzog had opinions on Costco. First game crashed seconds. Crashed. Second game, we have a cheater. Let's go. That's what you get for playing DVD. Slink, if you're online on Friday and you're willing to play games other than DVD, I'm gonna be doing giveaways of a bunch of keys of games. Well, right now I only have keys to Toxic Commando, but I may potentially have more game keys if they accept my thing. Commando time! Sam, I have the urge to play like right now. I do. But we can't. We shouldn't, right? No, we shouldn't. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. No, we can't. We couldn't do that. That would be insane, dude. We'll log over right this second. Guys, what? Guys, that's nuts. Guys, we can't do something like that. That's crazy. Rex, have you beaten the campaign on normal? I have to do the last mission still? Okay. We can get you through that one. We can get you through that one. Whoa. Your muscles tense up. Is this an assassin? It's a freaking assassin! Why are you coming after me, dude? You hear the goblin say something to you. Dagger. He doesn't need to raise his voice. He knows the gravity of the word. Pain incoming. This creature visits death upon your door. Fight back. Dex check. That's big, huge. Blood pumping. This guy wants to kill you. Can you ask him to put the blade away? Get it together. Let's regain composure. Aw, freak. Even with the +5. Reach forward and shake the max one's hand. What? Why are we being polite to the assassin? You hold one hand towards the masked one. That's very nice of you. You smile. You're wearing a helmet. The bastard can't see it. The masked one is ready. The masked one immediately rushes forward, the sharp dagger thrusts towards its target. You feel the... Ow! Feel the steel brush up against your chest. The ring mail underneath is the only thing keeping you from being gashed open. Snell gets ready to act. The goblin's quick. The goblin glances at the dagger almost piercing your chest. He then rushes forward, aiming a decisive blow against the masked one's left leg. It hits, not by much, but enough to stagger the masked one. After the initial attack, the masked one goes in for another attempt. Do not let him counter! Okay, can I heal also? And I'm gonna punch him. Oh, come on! Your fist flies past the masked one's iron face, causing you to stumble forward. It goes right over the goblin's head. Watch out! Once again, the masked one lunges forward. The dagger is now aimed for your vitals. This will not break you. This will be the last attack, a final desperate charge. Stand tall.
Cleric, look out!
Oh! The dagger hits right below your neck artery. The complicated shock of both being aware of a sharp object piercing your skin while also not feeling any pain is strange. Fuck! You hear a weak voice behind the mask. Don't let him get away. Your goblin companion jolts his arm to the side. A thick string appears out of his sleeve. It's a long woven cord with a pouch at its center, along with an iron ball.
Yeah!
A loud thud explodes from the lower left hip of the masked one. Gah! Direct hit. Surprise! The goblin knows how to break a man with those iron balls. You can do this, just don't let this guy get away. Okay. That's a big heal. Can I cast this? No. Okay. He is dead set on escaping this point. Maybe you should let him. Never! In the name of Earth, it's time for the righteous grapple. I mean, I don't think we land this, but... Oh. Oh! Oops. That's what you get! Glancing over the side into the darkness reveals nothing. The masked one is gone. He deserved it, right? Sure he did. Sure. The goblin leans out over the abyss.
They really should add guardrails here.
Well, it's cooler without.
Maybe if you got that feather fall, but for us mortals, this is kind of a splat moment. Sadly, the old lady couldn't get the building permits. Otherwise, we'd have bolted up this place a long time ago. But for this one, I guess it worked out. Sort of.
He rubs his chin.
Someone wants us dead. Or you, more likely.
We have to investigate this carefully.
Yep. Another one on the list.
Adrenaline wearing off. Beware. Everything is a bit wobbly. Stand still. This is embarrassing.
Cleric, do you need any...
He motions toward his neck. The location in which you were stabbed. Feel your neck. You press a hand against your neck, right where you felt the blade hit. The area hurts, but more importantly, it is not wet. You will live. I'm fine. He got my armor.
Really?
Yep. Adrenaline is fading. You feel dazed.
Aren't you lucky?
He says, taking a deep breath.
Guess we're gonna need it if someone's sending assassins after us. Even incompetent ones like that.
Who do you think actually sent that guy?
No clue. But let's hope they're as bad at their job as that guy was at his.
Yeah, this assassin really was ass. That mask was weird.
Yup, gives me the creeps just thinking about it. Looked like some old ceremonial thing.
Religious rites, sacrifices, cults. Couldn't be. The city doesn't allow that foul nonsense. Cultists?
These days, evil cults aren't a thing in Norvik.
He gives you a snide smirk.
If you believe the magistrates. Could also be connected with something below.
Snaps his fingers. We should go ask Schnorr, your new scholarly friend. He might know a thing or two about cults. Why would they attack us? Great question. My initial guess, an enemy of Lady Sageleaf. He furrows his brow. Won't let an insult like that slide. If you picked up enemies, they must all be crushed. Death follows you, cleric. Let's take a peek, and the ambient groan of Norvik's red rocks echoes below, the river coursing around you, hugging you. Look down. You glare into the darkness, but you see nothing down there. Your companion clicks his tongue. Fuck this. They can't get away with that. Not on our streets. Give him a nod. He nods back. You stood your ground. Against the odds, that is commendable. The mask, it has meaning. You need to uncover it. Snell checks around the crossing, a weary scowl on his face. Let's get out of here. Yes. There aren't any anime titties in this game. Why are you playing it? What's up, Henri? What game is this? Esoteric Ebb. It's like Disco Elysium, but it's set in like a D&D fantasy type land, kind of. I have a 30-minute thing with a friend in 90 minutes though, so I have time for literally one round. But if we're on in 2 hours, I'll be logging off on either way. Oh, so we have a very specific gap of time. Do we even know how long did the last mission take? I don't know if we can even finish that in the allotted time. Am I wrong? Well, an hour and a half. I don't know, Sam, do you remember? It took us an hour to get in the lobby. Yeah. Is it a hard out, Rex? I mean, we could try to get it done. I think it's one of the longer missions, obviously, because it's the last one. Yeah, it'll be like at least an hour, but it's a little bit longer because it's got the final boss fight and everything in it. Wait, combat? Why is there fighting? My peaceful political philosophy game. There's a little bit of combat, yeah. So there's actually real reasons to invest in strength and constitution and stuff. No one can dismiss the dwarves' architectural genius. I reaffirm the commitment. Backing out now would be real gross of me. So we're saying I should not boot. What? Wait, I can't go in? Aw, man, you went to full sleep. Can't talk to him yet. So are we saying no on Toxic Commando at the moment? If we could crush it out in that time frame, I'd be down, but I don't want there to be a situation where you're cutting it close with. I'd be down for later. Well, it sounds like with that time commitment, later it'd be like in 2 hours. So then I would probably want to be going to sleep around like midnight, so. I can get on Toxic Commando in 2 hours, even if I want to jump on right this minute. Well, if I was going to hop on Toxic Commando, I'd prefer to do it now and switch gears now, because I don't want to be on too late tonight. I'll probably stay up to like, I don't even know. I don't know. If we switch games, I'd be willing to stay on till midnight. If I don't switch games, I'm probably gonna head out around 10 or maybe sooner. Let's scoot back up this way. But what I was gonna say is if we do... Wait, that wouldn't work timing-wise. Yeah, it sounds like the timing be tough. Wait, the freaking dwarves are gone. Are they asleep? I just saw one of those freaking rats. He just completely broken. We can always wait till Friday too. Yeah, we can, even though I don't wanna, you know? I'm locked in on Friday. When you say you have a calendar event, you mean a calendar event to make sure you'll be there for the stream, or you have something else going on? Let's switch gears and get on Fortnite. Oh, hecking no way. Hecking no way. What the heck is this? Oh, a minor charisma increase for a week. Dampens high damage. That sounds kind of good. I set up a calendar event to make absolutely sure everyone knows I'm playing Toxic Commando with the herb. It's on my Google Calendar. You see it. You can't act like you didn't see it. Get real. Touch the pillar. Meditate. You close your eyes. You shape your mind into an arrow. Find the rhythm in Jorah's realm. You hear his voice. The cold rock of the pillar turns warm on your palm. You've marked it. Feel it. Warm and deep. It goes deep down, far up. What have you marked? You're unsure, but you feel like there are more spots you need to investigate. You lift your hand from the surface and you're able to see normally once again. You feel like you've learned something. You must keep looking. Soon the pillar's secret will be revealed. You understand plainly there is more to the pillar you need to investigate in time and further below. Oh, I shall. Yes, I shall. Let me put in my Toxic Commando hashtag ad on my Outlook calendar. Listen, if you guys desperately want to do Toxic Commando now, I could load up the lobby. We could speed run that last level on normal. I can give away one of the extra keys now so somebody else can join us. And then Rex can go on a break. And then yada yada yada. But we would have to move now because we're on Rex's clock. I'm switching computers. Okay, that's the play. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down this stream for Esoteric Ebb. And we will resume this playthrough in a bit. And I'm gonna restart this on Toxic Commando. Alright? Katana, if you want to join, I know you're mostly on YouTube now, but if you want to join the Twitch chat, I'm about to give away a key. So, up to you, but yeah, just a heads up. I'm gonna give away the key in Twitch. I can't do the giveaway between both chats. So, totally up to you. But alright. We're gonna wrap up the Ebb playthrough here for right now, and we will resume